And your life is going to change. You are going to be differently different. My name is and your life is going to change. You are going to be differently different. My name is and your life is going to change. You are going to be different. You are going to be out. You are going to be bigger and larger than ever. Imagine the possible. And you know why? This is true. And find the power that's been dormant inside of you all of this time. And all of this time you were afraid to go out and walk over. That means the things you will be shining. You will be the God. What God is something. You would be the one that everybody comes to and says, hey, look, they're there. The master's there. The teacher there. The teacher there. The one that will make my life different. And who am I to do that? Remember, it's time to tell you. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to change your life. Your life will no longer be the same. Together, I'm going to accomplish the world. Before you know it, can you imagine how possible? Because possible for one simple reason, and it is possible. I mean, this, and your life is going to change. You are going to be there to be there to be there. I mean, this, and your life is going to change. You are going to be there to be there to be there.
Welcome to another program of Uncommon Sense, and streaming from Singapore live. It is 9:30 p.m. and today I wanted to be able to let me turn off this everything else that I need. Okay, good. Just want to make sure everything else is turned on, so it's turned off, so that we can start to broadcast. Also, at the same time, I wanted to make sure that we have my Facebook on, so I can read your comments on StreamYard as well as on Facebook. So we are going to be broadcasting here today. We talked about yesterday, I think it was the last conversation with Keegan Kang. We were just finishing this characteristics of feminine energy, what they are, how to pay attention to that, because that's part of the yin energy, which is necessary for the development and creation of magical miracles, things that have to do with the occult. All of those kind of things are more powerful when you use yin energy than if you use yang energy, or more force. Less force, the better. We call it the Aikido way. I've been talking about the Aikido way for the last 20 years. This is something that people needed to understand. The movement that you have is to generate flow, and the flow that you generate allows you to control the forces around you. Control where they go. You cannot stop them, but you can control where they go. You can control where they lie, where they situate themselves, and all of that. But for you to have mastery, you must be, first of all, unaffected by the circumstances and by the situation and by the environment. Now, this is if you want to deal with manifestation, you want to deal with any form of quote unquote miracle working, magic, whatever you want to call it, or mind influence, you have to understand this basic principle. Now, this is something I learned ever since I was 17 years old. I cannot even begin to tell you who teaches me these things. When I need to learn something teaches me when I sleep, and this has been so everywhere, or sometimes when I'm off in a trance state while I'm sitting and watching the beach or something. I remember one winter, I can't remember, it was last winter or the winter before, in Barna when I was there, that I sat on the beach with basically what I have on, and we were talking -5 degrees temperature. I had a scarf and a hat on, so that kept me quite a bit warmer, and a little bit of an inner coat. So that was very good. That's all I needed, actually, because I'm practicing Tumo yoga. And Tumo means I raise my body temperature to at least 10 degrees higher, more than the environment around me. So I was toasty. I was nice. And so I went into this little bit of a trance state with my bag beside me. And next thing you know, I thought it was only a few minutes. Next thing I know, somebody was shaking me and speaking to me in Bulgarian. And luckily, I understand more than I can speak Bulgarian. I understand it when it's spoken to me. And he was asking me if I was okay. I said yes, yes. Asam dobre. I'm good. I'm all right. And it was a concerned fisherman who was had his line cast into the water and was trying to catch some fish. And I thought, okay, what happened? Maybe he just didn't like me sitting there because I'm disturbing the fish. In my mind, I was there for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, no more than that. And I looked at my clock and said, okay, I was supposed to meet my son at some point. My phone was off, everything was off. I had spent 2.5 hours on that beach, and I didn't know. I have no recollection where I went, what I did, only that something happened. Till today, I cannot even begin to tell you what happened. I'm just nowhere and everywhere at the same time. So when you start to also deal with yin energy, the female energy, you tend to become softer but more powerful. Sounds like a paradox, but it's true. The softer you are, the more powerful you are because you know yourself. And I wanted to combine that in this last 2 weeks of programming here to combine the raising of female energy within you, the yin aspect of that energy, and with it, the opening of your third eye apparatus. Why open the third eye? Because of clarity. You got to have clarity. You got to have the ability. See, when you start to go through opening all your chakras, and I'm going straight there for a reason, you achieve. You realize yourself intellectually. You begin to know, but you don't know how you know. You just know. It's so hard to explain because it's not linear logic. You didn't go into some Akashic library and all of a sudden you had a download of everything. That doesn't work like that. It's sequential for a lot of people like that because that's your life. That's what you are. But this is not necessarily the way things operate. There is a way to flow into the stream and to recognize everything around you is a one huge, beautiful, grand illusion. And you can participate and be part of it and enjoy it, but not be so attached to it that it becomes your be all and end all. So when you begin to live like this with pure gratitude, then a whole bunch of things opens up for you, including more self-love, more self-worthiness, and feeling not just higher self-esteem, but feeling better about deserving. Remember, I told you that you want to deserve more love, that you do deserve love, and you want to receive more love and more abundance, more health, more happiness, all of these things. And the way to do it is to feel like you deserve it, and then you'll be okay. What was that ping? Did I leave something on? Nah. Okay. If you can still hear me, just send up a love signal or a heart or something. That would be very, very cool. Let me say hello to some people and welcome them here. Lawrence, good morning. Good evening for me. Good morning for you. My mother is watching. Hi, Momji. And Judy Zhao is watching. Malinka, hi, welcome to the show. Ayusa Corn, or Ayusa Cucumber, I don't know. Ayusa Corn, welcome to the show. Josephine, welcome. And Malinka, of course. Great, welcome to the show. Now, and thank you for paying attention. I wanted to be able to help you recognize some of the important things that you have in life. You can hear me clearly. That's awesome. Galia, welcome to the show as well. We talked about the characteristics of female energy and why it's important as an idea for you to notice that you're not just one facet working on a particular thing on a planet. Your job does not define you. Your roles on Earth don't define you. You are not altogether 100% a daughter, mother, um, uh, a wife, da 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 da. Same with men. You're not a son. You're not just a son. You're not just a father. You're not just a husband to somebody or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case might be. We play many roles. And when you go to the workplace, you've got many roles as well. And hopefully they're more steadily incremental roles, roles that offer you more responsibility, the more you can handle that. And it's also a very important thing for you to realize that not necessarily is it the truth that just because your role is quote unquote compared to everybody else, um, what's the word? Diminished, not diminished, small role. You think that the people who take the garbage away, garbage men and all are beneath you. Da, da, da. They're not. Without them during this COVID season, your life falls apart. Without the people delivering food every day on their motorbikes and their cars, you don't get to eat. Without the restaurants, people, hawker centers, and all of these being open, without your mail being delivered every day by these people who are braving the virus. And yes, some of them are doing it out of heroism and saying, yes, I need to serve. The rest are desperate because they have to feed their families. And how lucky you are that you're not so caught up in all of that also at the same time. So when you recognize that you are this multifaceted, multidimensional human being, that you operate on several different levels of consciousness at the same time. You see, sometimes if you notice someone, if you're walking with a friend and you go meet their parents, you notice your friend all of a sudden digresses or regresses into a child with their parents. And the way they communicate with them a little bit different. They don't communicate on the same level as if they're adults. They're just literally a child. And then if you notice that when they are talking to you, as opposed to when they're talking to their children, no matter how old they are, they suddenly become this adult parent role, and so on and so forth. So we all play these different roles, and we play them very well. It's just that sometimes we are left unappreciated. We are left and we say to people, oh, my family doesn't appreciate me, or my wife or husband doesn't appreciate me, or somebody else's wife or husband doesn't appreciate, whatever your thing is. And I do so much for them. I do this and this and this, and they do nothing. Zero, da, da, da. And you see, when you start to keep score like that, you're going to be a miserable person in life. Because if you do something for someone, make sure that you do it without a thought of something coming back to you. Because if you do it to get appreciation from someone, you're going to be disappointed. People are going to disappoint you throughout the world. This is how it is. No one's perfect. Everybody is on the same path. Everybody is looking for the same happiness, the same fulfillment, the same joy, the same ecstasy. Everybody is looking for the same thing. And how can you depend on someone to give you or fill you the emptiness inside of you with them, or da 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 da? It's not their responsibility. It is yours. Really, it's yours. So when you start to pay attention to that, then this COVID and staying at home situation that we're in right now, where it's mandatory movement control order, they call it in Malaysia, because they control your movements, even your bowel movements, depending on what laws they come up with. But also at the same time, in Singapore, they call it the CB, which has many, many, many subtle meanings, if you know Canton, Hokkien, and a few other languages as well. But it means circuit breaker. And what is a circuit breaker? Well, it means that people are passing the virus on to everybody else. So you got to take somebody out of the circuit. Yeah. Yes. And slowly they're going to open up everything. And I think that's a big mistake. Like the Spanish flu, it wasn't the first wave that killed so many people. I mean, less than 2 million lost their lives. The second wave killed 50 million people. That is what you have to pay attention to, because when you start to get careless, and begin to realize that somebody, somewhere, some government obviously took a natural virus of the corona family, put in parts of HIV, the DNA code, and parts of a former SARS code, also part of the corona family, and made this particular virus so infectious that it is not funny, its ability to kill and its ability to pass from one person to another person to another person. So you have to be vigilant. So coming back again to playing the role, you now have to play the role of a responsible citizen, stay in your homes. But you see, what happens when you do that, by being isolated from your friends, from your social circles, whatever you have online or through your telephone and so on and so forth. In being isolated from everyone, you are faced with what? You are now faced with the many roles you play and how hollow each of those roles are. They don't define you, and you begin to realize, who the hell am I? Holy crap. Am I my job? Am I my role in the family? Am I the name that's been given to me? Am I the religion I was born in? Who are you? And what are you? And why is it so easy for something so tiny, to be able to snuff off millions of people instantly? And now you come into question, what is the meaning of life? Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we having this this isolation? Why has the whole world changed? For the next 5 to 10 years, this entire place, this earth, is no longer the same. Countries are not going to be the same. My son, who is stuck in New York, was looking forward to yesterday when Bulgaria was supposed to open its doors. But the Bulgarian embassy in Washington, D.C. called him and said, I have good news and bad news, they said. The good news is we have your number and we can call you anytime we want. The bad news is no one's coming in and out of Bulgaria until the end of June. Wow. Wait a minute. That's bad. So now he's struggling to figure out what to do. But it's actually very, very important that he stays put, because less than 60 miles, 50 miles south of him is New York City. And that's where most of the infections are being passed, because of the proximity, because of the tightness, because of the many, many reasons. And yet in other parts of the United States, super, super stupid people are wanting freedom. Give us the freedom to die. We lived in America. We sent people to war. We conquered other nations just for the oil, but not to die because of a virus. We won't let that kill us. And so they're walking around without masks and they're protesting. And it's not civil unrest when you bring guns into the governor's office, and those people should be jailed. And the biggest gangster of all sits in office. No one has the guts nor the balls to remove him. That's really odd. I think the only thing that can maybe move him away from office might be something like this. You think? It's hitting him closer to home. He's in a panic mode. So regardless, people, let's come back to what you can control, not what you cannot control, because I taught you how to do that. So what you can pay attention to is that when you start to open your third eye apparatus, you start to pay attention to these energies that are around you. Then you begin to realize that, wait a minute, this third eye apparatus is not just for looking outwards. It's actually for also looking inwards. You see, your eyes are meant to look at things, and then you can be fooled by everything you see. Darkness, terrible people, good things, bad things, depending on what you focus on. But if you notice by now, by opening your third eye, your ability to pay attention to Whatever knowledge you want comes to you the instant you start thinking about it. Um, you don't have to be this virtuous, wonderful person or this terrible, obnoxious person. You don't have to. You're shades of everything. You're not altogether good, and you're not altogether bad. You're not altogether successful, but you're not altogether a failure either. You're a mix of everything, and life is like that, a mix of everything. And so, as a result, you learn to allow Aikido, allow some force or something to come through, but not stay with you. Just push it right off. It's very simple as that. I remember when my mother was, uh, barely 10 years ago. I had a place near here, not far from here, in a place called Seletar Air Base. I lived there for 9 years before the government decided that, and we had a community, expats like we were, because we just moved to Singapore, and it was so wonderful. We actually had a newsletter going around. We treated each other with kindness. We left our doors open. We never locked. That was how that community was. It was not too far from here. And they decided to build this monstrous airport because they needed it for their private jets and everything else that comes in and out of there. But regardless, my house is now where Rolls-Royce, the jet maker, is located. So what was I going to say? Oh, yes, my mother started to pay attention to everything that happened with her body because she was experiencing some knee problems at that time. So I hired an Aikido master to come to my house and teach both of us private lessons on Aikido. And it was quite amazing and quite a lot of fun as well, because my mother started to learn how to defend herself. And with one simple movement of the hand, a person would fall. And with one twitch of a finger, somebody else would topple over. And of course, she doesn't do any of the falling and stuff. She learns all of these. So being in control of her body, which is what this COVID season kind of teaches you to do, and it is a season. The season shall pass as well. It teaches you to take care and control those forces inside of you. And the reason I mentioned her because it was so funny. When my sister had asked her, my sister said, "Ma, can you please teach me what it is that you learned? Show me some of the stuff." And my mother said to her, I don't want to do that because I might hurt you accidentally." I said, "Wow, that's a position of power." And then my father, of course, sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, says a lot of things that raises her fire. I said, "What the hell?" I said, "I can't believe that just came out of your mouth." But anyway, he would do that. And she turned to him one time, and I was happened to be there to see it, and she put a finger up. "I can hurt you." Shut up. I thought, wow, that's an exclamation of power to defend yourself. So same with psychic attacks as well, because there are such things as well. And if you know how to protect yourself, then you can also shield yourself from the negative thoughts of a lot of people. And that also helps you. And that's where the feminine energy comes in. The more yielding you are, the more powerful you are. It's not all about force. Please understand, there is a balance. And so when you take negatives, you don't just destroy it or send it to hell or whatever it is you think happens in those romantic movies, but it transmutes to a different form. And your ability to transmute is another level of training and learning. And then we'll go into that when we have time as well. So let me, wow, there's a lot of writing here. Charn, welcome. Joycelyn, welcome. Malinka says, "How you feel when your Maji listens to you, son? Ma's relation mixing with your social figure personality." What? Why not? Judy says, "Bingo. Why we have to take personal accountability to self-love, self-care, and do it ourselves to be balanced and to sow these love and care out." What? Yet it would be a plus to receive back, especially from our children, which then makes us codependent on. Aha. Inner world that brings more bliss onto our perception to the outer world, then it's the permission again that we give to take away and fix our attention on that's happening in the external world to off balance our inner world. Auntie for you. What? What? Really? What? I mean, could you say it in one sentence? Medica, how are you? My cousin, brilliant, brilliant doctor and thinker and wow, mother, wife. Talk about a woman who's running many, wearing many hats, and selfless, and such a good heart. I cannot even begin to tell you what a nice person she is. Amazing person. But Medica, I'm trying to make sense of what Judy just said, and I'm going like, what the fuck? I don't know what she said. Judy, are you able to put a question? It looks like a question in one sentence, maybe two, just one. What's one line? 2 lines? Maybe that would help as well. Just little hats. But thanks. Depends on the size of the head, I guess. But yeah, she's a brilliant surgeon. She's wait a minute. You not only have an MBBS, but you also have a PhD. Is that correct? Whichever. She's brilliant. She's probably the most brilliant person in the family. So, Auntie, for you, finger up. Okay, Judy's a Christian. You can tell from the finger up situation, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm late. No idea what we're talking about. We're talking about Connie. We're talking about. We're finishing up with feminine energy, and we're going forward to what Keegan wanted me to talk about today, which is feeling more deserving. I think it was to allow yourself to feel more deserving. The boss, Jesus. Narayani, welcome to the room. Shirley, welcome to the room. And so let me finish that up. We all have different roles to play. So as a result, Judy, if you can put your question in one sentence, I'll be able to answer it, and it'll be very, very cool. Hey, Ashok. Is Ashok here? I don't see Ashok. You gotta learn not to drink so much, Narayani, before you get on. Ashok is here? He's not here. Ashok, if you're here, identify yourself, because this woman's looking for you. And she comes here to find you, of all places. Why didn't you talk to her for a change? And so, I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, yes, the feminine energy, yes. And then so we have to pay attention to that. Sometimes when you ask about opening the third eye, you have to be ready for what you are going to see. Forms, energy forms. If you start to pay attention, oh, Ashok is here. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Ashok, if you want to, if any of you would like to be part of the show, let me copy this to clipboard, put it on this side, do a Command V and enter. If you want to be part of this show and to be able to lost you, Mel. Oh, okay. Where would you lose me? If you want to be part of this show, just click on that link, and I will see you down below here, and we'll take you into the studio and express your thoughts and views to the whole world. Would that be useful? And if you haven't so far prepared yourself, or you came in halfway through the show, please feel free to rewind this when this is over, and you'll be able to also see what it is we've been talking about. If Keegan asks, what are some of the steps he can take to be able to feel and allow himself to feel worthy and exceptional? I gave him the exercise yesterday. Please refer to that. It's the last part of yesterday's broadcast, the mirror exercise. And I gave him one that was floating above himself before he slept. With the idea that when he comes on today at some point, we'll ask him what was the result of that. Or if any of you tried it, what was the result of that? Did you actually enjoy that? And most of you will find out that during the day, if you do that mirror exercise and you change places with the mirror, you begin to notice something about your sense of self-worth. Not necessarily your self-esteem, that's something else. And we'll deal with that in a second, because it has to do with complex cerebral stuff, like your self-confidence, your programming from youth, your education or lack of education, it all depends, and so on and so forth. But your sense of self-worth will start to grow, your emotional sense of self-worth. Some people say, well, you do this exercise and this will happen. Yes, the exercises help. But there is a confidence, and I talked to Ala from Philippines yesterday, and I tried to tell her this story about a salesperson who thought that a deal was already closed. It was done. It was literally done. And all she had to do was wrap it up and close it up and walk away with the sale. And so that gave her an immense sense of worth and self-control and confidence. And so she proceeded as if it was all done. And so her sense of worth was basically, this is mine. This is me. This is who I am. And so as a result, maybe sometimes when you wake up in the morning, why don't you turn with no one around? This is best done alone, because the reactions from the people you love is not going to be nice. Because it's not that they don't want to be nice. It's just that they cannot help but critique every step of the way. Like, are you sure? I've lost weight. Look at me. No, you look the same. And you spend weeks trying to lose all of that, and so on and so forth. Or you spend weeks working on a particular thing, and people come and say, what the is this? This is crap. I was expecting more. And then you're deflated straight away. So when you're by yourself, face the sun, if you will, and just claim your self-worth. Just literally do it. Just claim it. I am worth. I am a significant part of creation. I am a miracle in action. I belong to the world. I am a child of the universe. The last thing we read, the Siddhartha, and all of this. And you start to say that. And why face the sun? I tell you, close your eyes. Don't look at the sun. Just close your eyes and do that. You will feel a sense of warmth. And so you will be anchoring a lot of that warmth from the sun inside of you as you start to say it, and your whole body will feel that warmth. Now, here's the magic. What will happen is that in a situation where you find that you need that confidence, you could be in the middle of the night somewhere at a party, at a game, at some other place, and then you'll find that all of a sudden, when you need that, all you have to do is just remember the sun. Your whole body starts to feel its sense of worth, and you begin to be warm. That's called firing an anchor, and it's very good as well. And be badass, if you will. You are a Ferrari in a world of Chevys. Think of yourself that way. Isn't that the Chevys are not a good car, but it's a great car. I've driven a few in the States when I was there for 40 years, but it's an ordinary everyday car. You see millions of Chevys every day in the car, even in Bulgaria, believe it or not. And they're affordable, they're safe, blah, 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 all of that. But have you ever seen a Ferrari, or have you ever seen a Lamborghini? I mean, my God, what a beautiful curve that thing has, and so on and so forth. So you think of yourself as a Lamborghini among all these cars, without being arrogant, without being full of yourself without being any of that. Just know who you are. It's and if you are, you think yourself as this wonderful piece of the creator that came to earth. That you are a creator in your own right, co-creating your reality. You are a piece of God, if you will. And that's not a small thing, that's a big thing. And so, being that small part of God and Godhood, you are worthy of everything. It's your birthright to be wealthy, to have abundance, to enjoy love and more love in your life, to enjoy health the way it's supposed to be. But you have to be able to look inside you as you start to work on your health. Look outside for your emotional health, mental health, and look outside and see if you can't help a lot of people, because then you begin to realize that sometimes you put yourself in a situation where you allow people to suck that energy from you, that emotional energy, that by the things they do and the things they think, and maybe even by their very existence. Who knows? Spend time away. And now the COVID situation has allowed you to spend time away from those people. So without all of those negative influences, guess what? No more family dramas and all these other things happening. Why? They're there. I'm here. They're there. Oh God, it's so good. And so on and so forth. And just be happy. And spend time. The people who love you will be with you. And you'll be surprised what they would do. Now, if you have a sense of self-worth, you'll also want to splurge on yourself, wouldn't you? You want to spend some time alone, but give yourself something. I know a particular nurse who's a friend of mine who has now, with all of the work that she's doing, saving lives and doing everything necessary, even during the COVID season, has not given herself enough time to be able to take care of her simple needs, like taking care of her skin, nails. What else do you take care? Hair, things. Who knows what? Yes, all the barbershops and all that are closed and what have you, and so on and so forth. But you can give yourself a luxurious bath. Put some Epsom salts in there, a bit of lavender, God knows what, and just a little bit of oils, and just relax and soothe yourself. When was the last time you gave yourself permission to do that? When you start to do that, you give yourself permission to receive nice things from yourself, albeit, but nice things. And then they start in motion psychologically, the idea that you deserve nice things instead of, so far, not nice things from a lot of people. So pay attention to that as well. So yes, Joycelyn, avoid energy vampires. They tend to drain you, and you know who they are. What you don't want to do is you don't want to walk up to them and say, you're an energy vampire. You don't want to say that. You create problems. You can sing a vampire song if you like. But who knows? It's a whole different thing altogether. Dobrin, welcome. And he is watching with us. Okay, Ashok, do you want to be part of the show, or do you not want to be part of the show? Narayani, do you want to be part of the show or not? Do you want to come on board and share some of your wisdom, because you do have wisdom too? This is an invitation to anybody who would like to become. And Keegan, if you're watching, it's an invitation for you to now let me know how you've done so far with your exercises and all of that. By the way, those who are single, actually, Norani, you're single, right? This sense of worthiness, this sense of you deserve love, and all of this, it flows into love. It flows into the sense of the romantic and the kind of person you deserve in your life. You have to understand this, because sometimes life throws you into a situation where you have to deal with a loss, and the loss is greater than you can ever imagine. It could be somebody walking out of your life that you depended on for this, that, or the other thing. And that's why in this program, or ever since this program started a month or 2 months ago, that I um, wanted to teach you to be independent and less codependent. In other words, in everything in life, not just romantically, you don't need another person. I'm not suggesting you go off and in a quiet corner and start masturbating until you're happy. But what I am suggesting is that um, recognize that you have these physical needs, sexual needs, but at the same time, your emotional needs do not have to be filled by anyone. Your mental sense of who you are, your self worth, your self esteem, all of that is not somebody else's business to build. It's yours. And if you leave that onto somebody to raise your confidence, or somebody that told me once, but he's my boyfriend. He's supposed to listen to all my pain. No, your psychotherapist is paid to listen to your pain. There's an incentive. Your boyfriend has none. Other than that thing between your legs, he has no other incentive to listen to your pain. And he's not trained to deal with your pain also at the same time. So a lot of situations could well be worked out if people learn to be independent. So, in other words, if you could be emotionally fulfilled, mentally fulfilled, romantically fulfilled by yourself. And that's why I decided to spend more energy and time in opening this third eye apparatus, because something happens when you go into this, you combine the third eye with meditation. And can you imagine this? When you start to begin all of that with breathing patterns, and you pay attention to your breath, and you start to open your third eye with all the ways, if you don't know how, we've talked about it in God knows how many days already so far. And when you start to do this, recognize that the third eye is literally a foci. Focus is singular, foci is many, of what you pay attention to. If you want to pay attention to knowledge that is beyond the universe, knowledge that's beyond you, knowledge that's in all the books in the world, but you don't have access to them, you cannot afford to buy them, you now can. Just think of it, and it becomes your knowledge. How does it work? Well, we'll talk about that later. There is a way for you to access the entire akasha of the world. What that means is that every piece of knowledge in the world, you are then a person that is able to send your consciousness into any part of multidimensional space. You want to know what's happening on Mars? Sit quietly with enough practice. You know what? It's called Operation Rainbow. It's Operation Looking Glass is the overall umbrella. The CIA, NSA, and other too secret to abbreviate sections of a hidden government within the government of the world, not just the US, have technology that you can only dream about. Have technology that's affecting the entire planet. Have technology that is somehow also they've been working on a lot of what the mind is capable of doing, from Russia to US to China now, far in advance. China has so many weapons, you have no idea what they have. The ability to shoot lasers from satellites onto the ground to create mass destruction is amazing. The ability to disrupt weather patterns is also amazing. The ability to synchronize strikes on the planet as a whole by reducing the rotation of the planet and the movement of the poles. So far in the last decade, the poles have shifted 200 miles. That's unprecedented, the magnetic poles. While all of you are complaining about your relationships and things that happen and all of these, Mary doesn't love me enough, and my life is falling apart because he's loving somebody else. I mean, come on. The whole everything is happening around you, but you're so clawed up in your own world. So start to pay attention to everything around you by starting to recognize what is the truth, what is real, what is see the world, see everything, see reality as it is, not as you feel. So in your limited view of a relationship, if you think that that man or that woman in your life is the be all and end all of everything, then you are in severe trouble and you are always going to be suffering. But if you turn, and here I teach you today, from today onwards, how not to suffer, how not to feel. I mean, pain you will feel. It's obvious. It's because some people will be dumb shits and they'll say things to you. And at the same time, there'll be some things that will happen that you cannot even avoid, and so on and so forth. But the third eye, unlike your two eyes, looking forward, your third eye apparatus can turn inside. Wait a minute. You can look here. You can look here. You can feel here. You can feel everywhere. I've been training you for this 3 weeks ago with simple things like substance, water, then food, then air, then da-da-da, and then now look. And then go into your thoughts and examine your thoughts. Are your thoughts your thoughts? Noraini, what are you saying? Please invite me. Yeah. Just hit that. The StreamYard. You see the connection. If you're coming off Facebook, you'll see the connection further up, just above Joycelyn, the energy vampire thing. Just click on that, and you will come in. Best with the computer, but it works with your phone as well, unless if you have an iPhone, it works. If you have a Samsung, I don't know if you know it, but Samsung is a Korean word for piece of crap. But so I've never used it, so I don't know how it works. So regardless, I want you to be able to now stop the suffering, and the way to do it is to examine yourself. Psychologists teach their clients to do this all the time, and they do this by asking the same question. If you are trying to call me, you don't just call. It's not what you do. What you want to do is you want to call me on this thing. Can't go through. Why is that? Let me see what I have. Yeah, it doesn't show that you are on. Why is that? Anju, try again. Try again. Try get in, and we'll see what we can do to unmute your mic. Okay, you chose to mute your microphone, so that's going to be very difficult. Kalin, welcome to the show. You need the link again. Let me put the link in there so you can join in. And the link comes up one more time. So call me, anyone from anywhere, and that would be very good. All right. So Anju, I'm trying to add you again. Nope, nothing. Say something.
Hi. No, I muted it because I didn't want to disturb you.
You want to what?
I did not want to disturb you, so I muted myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't even see you.
Because I have my video off too.
You have your what?
Okay, I'm on.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, you want to turn your phone slightly so we can see you from the right side? Just rotate the phone. Rotate the phone.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a 69. You want to do a complete 180. Yeah. One more.
Oh,
This way. Half circle. Perfect. Thank you. Hi, welcome to the show.
thank you. I'm such a great fan of yours. Oh my God, you are just too good.
I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve
Thank
and to have
you.
fun while serving.
Yes, thank you.
It's my pleasure. So you wanted to share something with us or ask a question or something? You want to turn the
Mhm.
phone again to the side? Yeah. Yes.
Just wanted to see, are there videos online? Like, do you have these meditations somewhere where I can access?
Try that one more time because you kind of came in and out.
Okay. This
Oh,
place
there you
feels
go.
like
There you
this.
go. Now you're loud enough. That's perfect.
Oh,
Okay.
I just wanted to see if your videos are like somewhere where I can access like meditation videos.
Mm,
You
meditation videos. No,
or
no.
or
I'm only now putting
oh
everything together. You know, all of these years, I took a 10-year uh, sabbatical, literally. I did only one or two seminars and I only went in classes, but I never created a lot of material. So now I've set up a studio so that I can begin. Oh my gosh. Hang on for a second.
sure.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Oscar from Greece.
I'm sorry?
Hello?
Yes?
My name is Oscar. I'm looking for Dr. Bell.
He's on a radio show right now and you're interrupting it. Would you mind calling at a decent hour, not 10:30 at night?
Okay, I apologize. We
No
need to order
worries.
from
No
that.
worries. Bye-bye. Okay, there you go. Sorry. That guy is persistent. He just kept calling and calling and calling. I thought it was my son, but I'm so sorry I had to answer that to stop him from doing that.
Yeah.
You had a question about my videos. Well, guess what? The good news is I'm going to be able to produce more and more and more, and my channel on YouTube, which is Dr. Mel Gill, by the way, just look for Dr. Mel Gill, and you'll find my channel. The
Oh,
Meta Secret, the movie I created, is there, the high definition one, for free for you to
oh,
watch.
oh
Yes.
wow. Thank
And
you,
for
thank you.
now, you can get the Meta Secret book on Amazon, but
Mm,
soon the Meta Secret site is being set up by an Australian friend of mine
mhm.
and Pritesh, his name, and together we're going to be making this site self-sufficient, and there'll be a lot of 5 minute, 10 minute videos and things that grab people's attention span. 10 minutes is all they have, 15 minutes. So we
Yeah.
won't have these long discussions. In fact, next week will be the last time I will be probably running these lives. I will do the lives to go back and forth just so that I
Oh,
can answer questions. But I won't be doing the lessons. The lessons will be much easier and more uh, listenable if I can interlace music
mm.
and visual images and other things. Don't you think it'll be
Yeah.
so much better? Yeah, and so people would gain all of that knowledge effortlessly. So that's what I'm trying to do. So you have no clue that this whole and it took a virus to make me do this. Because otherwise, I'm so busy running from country to country doing seminars for which I never get paid. These guys just keep all the money. And I decided, okay, you know what? We're going to raise funds now for my foundation. And that's all we're going to do and raise it. And so on
Oh
and
my
so forth.
God.
Yeah.
3, 4 days ago, I was watching a video, from a person that I have subscribed, and he was telling about this Kuber Mudra. It's called it's called like if you want to have like anybody helping you, it's like help mudra also. You understand Hindi a little bit, right?
Yes. The food more than I understand anything else.
So Kuber is like the money god, right? plus it's also the support god. So
Yes, Kubera.
yes. So
Yes,
there's a mudra that you do only for 5 minutes a day, but
yes.
everybody starts helping you. So I've been doing it for last 3 days, and now here I am connected to you. It's
Awesome.
awesome.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very good. I thought the money guy was Venkata Chelapati.
Maybe in South India, but Kuber is the main god.
Ah,
That's the
okay.
treasury department of God. So
Okay, because behind every Indian restaurant, the roti canai shops
hmm.
and all of that, there's this Venkata Chelapati. He's got tons of garlands on. He looks like somebody from the ghetto, but yeah,
That's the Vishnu Bhagwan. That's like the supreme god of all.
supreme. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's Vishnu. That's gods of God. I
So
mean, God of gods. Yeah.
then I shouldn't have said something about the ghetto. Then I'm in trouble.
No, God never minds. He's above all that.
I see. I see. Great, great, great. Well. All of the material you need, all the meditations and all that are coming out. In fact, there's a lot of things that I'm giving away for free that I think the world needs right now. If I raise funds, if I start charging, it's only for one purpose, and that's to create um, for the foundation to create a center, whether it's in Bulgaria or India or Singapore or Chicago, where home is for me, really, um, and a place where people can come and learn about meditation, the power of the mind, all of that for free. If they can afford, yes, donations would be lovely. If they cannot, come anyway. Just do
Do
something.
it
Help
in
help sweep the place or something.
do it in Bulgaria. It has the highest vibrations on earth.
Is that where you live?
No, no, I'm in US. I'm in Texas.
How do you know about Bulgaria's vibrations?
Because I'm very interested in all these things. So I read about Egypt. That's where the pyramids were built. They're also their location, exact location. That's based on the vibration. So Bulgaria has the highest vibration on earth. I
You
mean,
are absolutely correct. The
yeah,
center of all of that is Varna.
yeah. Wow.
One of the most ancient civilizations that predates anything we have any history about is in Varna. So all of Varna is built on that, but they don't realize it. They don't
Oh,
realize the power that they possess. The oldest gold in the world was found there.
oh
Now,
wow.
it's not just gold. It's intricate. I mean, we're talking about drill holes that are hair thin. We didn't invent drills till less than 100 years ago, and so we don't have that kind of technology now to be able to do that. I mean,
Wow.
only now we have it with lasers and everything else. So, and I'm in Varna for a reason. There is a reason I'm there, but I cannot talk to people about it because they're all very wishy-washy and they want you to do things for themselves and bless me and do this and that. Yeah, you can bless yourself. You're okay. You're fine. There's a greater purpose to going there because civilizations and a lot of their buried technology is there. People don't realize it. And so I'm there for bringing it all out. And by the time I finish, a lot of people will come to Bulgaria and start to explore.
I want to visit for sure, and if your center is there, I'll definitely come.
Yeah, it is. It is there. It's facing the Black Sea. It's less than 10 kilometers from where I live in Varna right now. And we have a site that we are going to build on. And some of the
Okay.
technologies that we're working on, the foundation is working on, sounds and looks a lot unbelievable. But this is technology we used to have. And it just so happens that whatever abilities I have, I seem to know how to put it all together. And so I'm doing that.
Wow.
Well, that's the purpose
Awesome.
of being alive, is to have a lot of fun, to create all of this, to make it happen. One day, when this whole Corona thing is over,
Mm.
I bring my parents over there, and they can see how beautiful a place it is. You see, we're born in a particular place, but we're not limited to this place. This place is not home. Earth is home. And if you begin to realize Earth is home, then how much of your home have you seen? You haven't seen a lot. So it's time for you to travel and pick up all of the energies from the ground. Sometimes the portals are in India. Some of these portals are all over the place. I mean, West Africa has a lot of these portals as well. People don't realize it. Near Tanzania are portals as well. And so if you spend time looking at all of these, you'll find at least 6 to 12 vortices that have not been recognized, and they all have structures which are similar. Uh, so there's been a certain kind of thing going on, and people used to communicate in a way that you and I can only imagine, like telepathy. Like it can be thought, and it's
Yeah.
not by words; it's by entire feeling states. Can you imagine if you radiate with love all the time, as much as you can,
Oh my
and you can tell where the radiation comes from, and who it comes from. But at the same time, it depends what you focus on as well. Are you generally a happy person, Anju?
I am. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what everybody tells me because
Are, are
I
you are
always
you
feel
are you married?
I'm divorced.
You're divorced.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a happy situation.
No, actually, it was.
It was. Okay. Good
At
for
that
you or good
time,
for him?
at that time, I didn't realize it because I was like, "Oh my God, me! I can never get divorced because I'm not built that way. I was not brought up that way. I was the first person in my whole family to get divorced. Divorce
Mm,
was like a word normally, and nobody knew in my family. But later on, as time passed, I realized it didn't happen to me; it happened for me actually. So, I'm
good.
free. It's good. It's all good. I mean, I don't have to answer to anybody. I do whatever I want whenever I want. Nobody, it's like, oh my God. I think it was the best thing that happened to me. Of course, if
Great.
you would have asked me at that time, I would have I was
Yeah.
crying my eyes out, and that was a very stressful time. But I usually, whenever something bad happens to me, like it's life. There are few things, get laid off and all. I give myself time, depending on the event. I give myself time, be it 24 hours or a week, but no more than that. After that, if I can do something about it, do it. Otherwise, just
Very good. You see,
forget
you
about
you are you are in control, whether you get laid off or you get laid. Either way, you are in control. So you decide where it is that you want to be.
it.
I
Yeah.
want to ask you one more question. Mm, what could I do for you right now to make you happier?
Oh, anything is good. Any learning because you are you are up there and
Yes.
I'm very
Sure.
small compared to you, so whatever wisdom
No,
you
no,
can
but
give me,
but
whatever you
but
can teach
after 3 months, I'm gonna get smaller. So don't worry. I'm working on it. So far, I am a little bit bigger than you. Yeah, and
no, your wisdom.
can I see more than half your face? Just yeah.
I don't know why it's not
Oh, you just have to move the phone. That's all. Because you'll notice Ashok is taking up some of your space as well.
uh,
And yeah, I
can
brought
you
him
see
on.
me, or because I cannot see
Ashok,
myself?
can you? Anju is freshly divorced, and you are freshly divorced. And here's a dating service that I just started. He's in New York, and you are where?
I'm in Houston.
And she's in Houston. That's not far, Ashok.
I'm in the middle, he's on the East Coast, so 4 hours.
Yeah, there you go. Ashok, you hear us, right? Say something,
uh,
Ashok.
Hear a lot of echoes, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Ah, yes, I'm hearing a lot of echoes as you. Ashok wants to be like God, so he has this echoey voice, and so he starts to talk like that.
Okay,
but
I'll be
but
right
but
back. Let me figure out the headphone.
all right, you figure out your headphone. I'll leave him out for a minute. Um, is there something I can do for you right now to make you happier than you are right now?
You decide. You tell me. I'm all ears. I learn
You're
anything.
coming
So
to a buffet and you're asking the buffet to decide for you. I can give you
yeah.
anything you want. What would that one thing be?
Hmm.
To become more what?
Happy.
Happy.
Happy. Yeah.
I saw that. Um,
No, you
um,
decide. I really can't
no, no, no,
decide.
no,
So
no, no, no. We go on the happy thing. Let's work on the happy thing.
okay.
One of the results of using and opening the third eye apparatus, and if you don't know what we did to do that, refer to the last few videos. Okay, they're on YouTube. They're also on my Facebook page, the
Mm.
fan page. Um, let's turn the third eye apparatus from outside and other people to inside to you.
Mm.
After this show, what I would like you to do, because it's still morning for you,
Yeah.
find a space where you be alone. Switch off your phones. Your phone is not that important. You have to switch it off.
Okay.
Not even on vibrate mode. I mean, like really switch it off. Nobody's gonna die. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
And just sit quietly, calm, cool. You don't need anything else. Make sure you're not going to be disturbed. I want you to begin to do that orange exercise. Were you here when you heard the orange exercise and all that? Okay,
No.
then refer to it, listen to it for a couple of hours, and then do the exercises. And then begin when you start to have that awareness, turn that awareness inside and just pay attention to the person that you are. Just pay attention to the breathing, your breath as you breathe, so on
Okay.
and so forth. And pay attention to your breathing, pay attention to who you are, pay attention to what's going through your mind. Allow your thoughts to happen. Don't suppress them. Allow and let them drift by like clouds, and the thoughts will come. Don't engage them. Just allow them to come. It could be thoughts about, oh, I wonder what I have to do today, da 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 da, as if it's somebody else thinking these thoughts. When you start to
Mm.
do this, you spend more time as you open your third eye with meditation and quiet, and you focus on those areas right here. You will start to feel a happiness better than sex, a fulfillment better than sex. It's like, oh my God, I don't know where this happiness is coming from. Some people call it, I think in the Hindu culture, they call it amrit, holy water or something.
Amrit.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, in the Jewish culture, they call it the anointing, like an
Mm.
anointed oil, the Christos, or coming to that point where you become almost enlightened, but not quite. But you're having such fun. Enlightenment is such hard work and very serious stuff. And no, it's not. It's actually you feel so amazing. You're just so grateful about everything you have that you don't look out anymore. You start to look inside and you want to spend more time with you than
Oh my
out there.
God! I
And your
can't wait
happiness
to
will start to
start.
build.
I can't wait to start because
Start.
um, long time ago I was doing this Kundalini, meditation, and as you said, it was exactly like it was better than sex. It was so fulfilling. So I cannot wait to start it. Thank you.
One of these days I'll talk about Kundalini and what to do and da da da. But stop all Kundalini exercise for now. If you
Hmm.
try to raise your Kundalini, which is really part of Tantric yoga and Tantra and all of these other things, you have to be ready to face the world. You have to be ready to see things as they are without embellishing everything. If you're not ready, you will become suicidal. You will become depressed. You will attract more things to you that you don't know what to do with and how to deal with them. So first
Oh,
deal with it with third eye apparatus, and then later I'll show you how to use and open up the throat chakra, because this allows you a command over some occult forces that you have to pay attention to as well. You see, the world is more than just what you see.
yeah.
What you see and what we do. Yes, I can function as a CEO of a company, I can function as a coach to CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and so on and so forth, and as a psychologist. But there are also things I'm aware of that I don't talk about. So these are the things you must first be adept at, and then do the whole Kundalini thing. You'll be very surprised. Let me add Ashok to and see if he still has a godlike voice. Ashok, say something. Say something.
Can you disconnect me?
Wow. Okay, he's still echoey, I think, a little bit. I don't know where that's from, Ashok. You may have to turn off everything except what this StreamYard is, or Facebook, or whatever you're listening.
Yeah. You are
Shall I just
using headphones.
shall I remove you from the
Can
stream
you
again?
disconnect me and put it, please?
Okay, sure. I disconnected him. So
Okay, so Dr. Mel, it's in your latest YouTube video. Like, which date was it? Is it today or the meditation that you're telling me about, the third eye one?
there are many things I know. That is one of the few things I don't know.
No, no, the video.
No,
That's
I know what you're asking me. I have no clue. I just speak and I just throw them there. I haven't even ordered them. So if you go to YouTube and look for Uncommon Sense, the channel, I think, or Dr. Mel Gill, the channel, and then you find Uncommon Sense, you will see what is written with them, episode this, episode that, and what's beneath it. I hope it's still there. And find it. Find it. Please find it.
look
It's
for
not in
third.
any.
So,
What?
what will be the topic? The third eye
Yeah,
opening.
it's been this whole week actually.
Okay.
Last week we started with the second eye, and then now we went to third. We'll go to
So
the
I
fourth
can
eye later.
so I can do the third eye. I mean,
Yeah,
I can do the third eye, or do I have to do the second first?
no, I'm kidding with the second eye. It was just a joke.
There's no second eye.
You just have your own. It takes time. You got to have patience. Okay?
Yeah.
Anju, thank you for joining us. Appreciate
Thank
you
you
being
so
on the show.
much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure to
Yeah,
serve. Take care.
sure.
And that was Anju from Texas. And Ashok trying to get in, but he's not able to get in. And Judy says 10:24 p.m. in Malaysia, which means it's also 10:24 p.m. here. In Chicago, it's like 9:30 a.m. Correct, right now. Jackie, hey Jackie. Dobrin says, Mr. Mel, do you know that the Metasecret is not being translated only in Bulgarian? I've started to watch it a few times, but I'm understanding about 75% of the movie. The Metasecret is in Bulgarian. I think I took it down because people who didn't own it, right now the Metasecret is being pirated in Vietnam, in Thailand, in Africa, very many countries in Africa, in some parts of, in Serbia, there's a woman that's actually pirating it. There's so many people doing it. It's very difficult to follow up with all of this stuff. One day I will have a crew of volunteers that will start to take them all down and put them all there. But then again, instead of spending all that energy fighting all of that, I thought I'd just continue making more movies, and then that way somebody will take care of that at some point. Joycelyn says, I'm going to share next week my experience from reading Metasecret. Great, Joycelyn, I would really appreciate that. Connie Clark, Sloan, Quebec is 10:30 a.m. Thank you. Finally, you made it on YouTube. Yes, by accident. I'm finding out many things. Something that I learned now is where the highest, what does Judy say? The highest vibrations are. Okay. Judy, I love your humor. You can be humorous too. You are quite a humorous lady if you're not so serious. Fly mode on all devices every night and turn them on at least 130 hours after wake up in the morning. I don't understand. Ashok wants to be disconnected again. Story of his life. And Noraini a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Mel, my immunity is boosted up with all this laughter. Yes, this is what laughter does. Please put in the link again so I can reconnect. When did that come in? 10:45. Attention span of a fly. Here, okay. It's there. Sarah, try it again. And Judy, when you laugh, when you respond with humor and you start to see the funny side of things, laughter releases not only endorphins in the system, the feel-good neurotransmitters, enkephalins are also released in your bloodstream, along with the soup of other chemicals and gamatropins and all these other things, that what they do is they raise your serotonin levels in your bloodstream, and they also counter all of the oxidation enzymes and hormones that are also released. Your adrenal cortex, the adrenal glands, above your kidneys, produce all of these corticosteroids that are actually destroying your organs bit by bit. The more you're grumpy you are, the more you hate people because people are just terrible. People are just shocking. Da, da, da. If somebody says, like today, for instance, I mean, in real life, someone I know, because didn't get my humor and so thought it was sarcasm and said, "Fuck you," she screamed on a text. So I wrote back very calmly and I said, "Thank you for the offer. That's quite generous of you, but I think I'm going to be busy for the next 2 months with this COVID thing. So I won't have time to take up your offer." So when you are spending and turning all of that third eye apparatus inside, then you pay attention to your responses to people. You pay attention, and I'm human. Sometimes I slip up. Sometimes I just lose it, because when people hurt other people who are dear to me, then sometimes the guard comes down, and then all it takes is a brother or somebody to point out, what the F are you doing? And then I say, okay, sorry, just let it out. So look, we all make mistakes, and don't think you have to be perfect the first time around. Everybody's going to make mistakes. So you begin to realize, is Ashok coming on or is he not coming on? We don't know. He hasn't found the link, and his speakers, he's an IT consultant, and I'm a psychologist. Look at it. You should see my connections here. This is so wild. There are wires coming out from God knows where, tape around certain things that are broken and what have you, but it works. I got it working and I repaired it. It was pretty cool. Goes to find solution or report. Judy says, yes, Mel, I remember what you thought and still practice laughing nonstop daily till tears roll out. Do me good and am able to just make decisions that's them and not me. Yes. Is that an offer? Do me good? Could be too. Yeah. But thank you for these wonderful things that you are offering. It's also a good thing. Sense of humor, Judy. You got to develop that. Let me see where Ashok is.
I'm here.
Hi. No
Hi,
video.
how are you?
And,
No
and
video?
no longer echoing.
No longer echoing. No video. No, you got the video.
Great.
Okay.
Great. We
I'm
spoke to a possible girlfriend of yours. Maybe she's in Texas, and you're in New York.
I think you are growing old. Like, was it Texas or Chicago? I think you are losing the place.
No. She told me she was in Texas.
Okay. Okay,
Houston, I
that's okay.
think it
You know,
was.
yeah, yeah, I've got the same problem keeping track of the girlfriend. So I understand that.
I think that's the
So
first.
how are you? How are
I
you doing, Dr. Gill?
am brilliant. I'm doing good. I see you are still keeping your spirits up. Being is Como still extending the stay home order and all of that till
Yeah,
when?
yes. Uh, we don't know. He said, just wait, let me figure it out. I think this is what happened. He locked it down and he forgot the password. So he cannot unlock it now. So that's what is happening, I think. I think he lost the password. So, like how you lock down your computer screen, and then if you forget the password, you cannot unlock it. I think that's
Yes,
what
yes.
happened with Como.
Well, actually, he's doing the right thing. You have to
I,
continue the lockdown.
well, I know that, but I hope he remembered the password.
What?
I said, I hope he remembered the password so that eventually he will unlock it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So,
All right.
so,
So you
so
had a question, or maybe you have something to share about. The topic tonight is a crossover between the feminine energy and respecting and loving the feminine energy, as opposed to, well, not opposed to, but as being part of allowing yourself to feel you deserve more love, more abundance, more health, more joy, da 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 da. Also, at the same time, to feel more worthy of receiving love, things like that. So,
uh,
do you want to add to that? Because you
yeah.
have met more women in 1 month than I have met my whole life.
Or maybe you should get out of that cocoon where you close yourself in. Then you will meet more women.
I like my cocoon.
I know that, but how long you are going to like it? That's the thing. You have to get out to meet people. Like that is the same thing. Like about many of my friends said, "Oh, I'm going to sit in my room and close my eyes and think about the positive things about getting to a beautiful island, and let me see if this law of attraction or whatever people talk about will get me over there." I'm like, no, you had to get out of your apartment, put your boat in water, raise your sail, then you can
But
ask a little bit of the universe help. So getting out of the apartment is the first thing, but that's okay.
how can I help everyone with their relationship problems if I don't stay in my cocoon and help people?
Oh, that's true, but like also everyone is looking at you. They said they can stay in there and have great relationships too. Uh, how they are going to have relationships if they don't meet people, don't step into the unknown and the unexpected, uh, and that's a prerequisite of getting into something. You have to see
So,
other humans.
so you are suggesting that people should get out more so that they can feel more self-love and self-worth, and is this what you're saying?
Yeah, not in this Corona thing. I'm saying when this is a little settled down, people have to get out more because see, one of the things is when I was going through this metamorphosis of after I got separated and everything, I'd sit in my apartment with the lights off, and I'm like, okay, like one day, like I was sitting in this dark, and I said, well, how do I get out of this shit? And then I said, oh, I'm going to change people's life. And then I said, well, how am I going to do that? So the first thing is if you want to change people's life, it came to me, I have to get out and go where the people are. Like if you want to be in a Hollywood movie, you have to be in LA. You can't be in Bulgaria, even though there is a little bit of chance, but you have to get out and be in that situation. Now that situation was very uncomfortable for me because I
All
have
Hollywood
yeah,
comes to Bulgaria to shoot
I understand
because
that.
you can make your movies for 1/3 the price. You know, Sylvester Stallone with his Expendables. When I was first in Bulgaria in Sofia, I was literally a block away from where they were shooting all the film. And so
I,
my friend Adi in Milan had a home, and their home the first level was also a restaurant. It's called Adi's Cook and Book. And so there was a bookshop and a restaurant, and they are not open for everyone to come in. You only come in by invitation, or you come in by making a reservation months ahead. And it's specialized food and it's expensive food. And so they invited me one day because they're my students in my class. They learn to become master trainers and presenters and powerful book writers, so on and so forth. And they said, "You want to meet Stallone and the entire crew of Expendables?" Expend a what? I said. And so I came and sat down and I met everybody from Randy Couture to the woman who played the lead, and the woman who played the lead and I were getting along very well. We had a great time chatting about stuff. She's from a nearby country, and Finland, and so there was a lot of stuff that was happening in that room. Everybody except Stallone showed up. And then Stallone called in to Jason Statham and asked him and said, "How's the food over there?" Because it was Thanksgiving, I think it was. And they said, "It's just American. It is truly American. It's not what you think in Bulgaria." And he said, "Oh my God, damn." So he missed it. But all of Bulgaria is coming there because there's David Avi, I think it is his name. Avi David. Well, whichever. But the point is, he is a producer and director who set up an entire city for shooting in Bulgaria, just between Sofia and Plovdiv, another nearby town. So this is where they are, and all these stars come in to fly in on their private jets, and they land in the only private jet airport in the world, which is in Plovdiv, and then they drive everywhere and they go everywhere.
So these Americans were shooting in Varna, and you
Yes,
didn't get any bullets from that, right? I'm just kidding. I'm
No.
just using that. I'm just getting into Mel Gill humor.
No, the bullets are from ex-wife and stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, they will always be coming. Okay, be blessed. But be blessed that somebody loves you that much they want to kill you. Like how they say, "I love you so much, I want to kill you and keep it with me forever in my basement, in a closet as a skeleton." So she loves you that much.
We need to return you to the hospital soon.
Yeah.
So, any
So,
thoughts?
so I will change my example from the Hollywood coming to Barna. I'll say, if you want to be in a Broadway show on the Broadway, then you have to come to New York. You have to go.
Oh, I like that. The Broadway, no pun intended.
Right. I know that. Okay, I got it. But the thing is, yes, you have to go out and step into the unknown and take the risk. Now, by risk, I don't mean like jump off the Empire State Building, but there are some risks which are not that fatal, and you just, I mean, if you go out of your comfort zone or wherever you are in your apartment or whatever, and you go out like 15% out there, and then you see how you feel. And yeah.
Jump off the Empire. You mean if you're dating a gorilla, then you'll jump off the Empire State, like the movie? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, the gorilla will catch me, I'm sure. Has to be a female gorilla.
Okay, good. Okay.
Right. So that's what.
So what I hear from you is this: for me to get broads, I need to go to Broadway.
That's right. That's where all the broads are. Okay. Coming to the broads, let's come to the feminine energy now, because you were talking about that. Sometimes we have to have something so that we can get back to the topic, like little anchors.
Okay.
So I got what you said about the feminine energy, and actually I agree with you for everything on that. I want to add in some of the things. Actually, if you look at it, I mean, I'm from an Indian heritage. You are from an Indian heritage too, and I think like when we look at the gods for the energy, like I see the Western culture and all the other, like all the gods are men, but if you go to the India, they are more goddesses. like they call it Devis and everything. So that culture realized 8 to 10,000 years ago, because that's where all the energy is, and like you were talking, that's where all the creation is. That's where, I also realized at a certain point in my life that uh, I had to get more in touch with my feminine energy, and boy, the moment I decided that and I started doing that. Uh, all this feminine, not the feminine energy, all these feminine started coming back like bees on a flower, like without me doing a conscious effort in that direction. I just had to get in touch with my feminine energy, and everything started happening. So all these men are but now asking me, like, how did that happen? And I say, like, if you want to play with somebody, you will play with the people who are like you, who have got your kind of energy. So feminine also want to play more with the feminine energy rather than the masculine energy, which they sometimes want to play. I mean, that's like a 20% of the thing, but there are other things. So what happened is, uh, okay, I'm slowing
I,
down.
I noticed. I noticed. I
Taking a deep
noticed.
breath, I saw the grin on your face.
I
Uh,
noticed.
I
Good job.
I I realized that I'm telling you now, with all these men. Like I was in Portuguese, and I realized all these men started coming around me, like, and all of a sudden I ended up on a dining table with 7 men around me. I'm like, how does that happen, Ashok? That never happened. So I did ask them, and these are the people I did not know that. Like, they just came. They said, we want to know what you are doing, because we want to do the same things. What you are doing to attract all these females, because they wanted to know. So,
Okay.
so, so I said, uh, and I started talking with them, and I realized most of them has got a very little feminine energy. So you never want to play, like, if you as a person want to play, you always want to play with the person.
So, how did you raise your feminine energy? From within, from without, from observations, from exercises, from reading books? How did you
So
do?
all of the above, but main things are like I did this meditation, and 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 you probably, with your experience with all these things, know about.
Describe the meditation for everyone. What do you do?
So I closed my eyes, and I thought I got into an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and there is this female in that elevator, and that is my feminine part. And I looked at it, and I said, oh, interesting, you are there. And I saw that was this small. And I started talking to it, and I said, you have to grow bigger, and you have to go bigger. And she said, I will be only as big as you think. So,
You, she said she'll be only as big as your thing.
as my thoughts are, as I
Oh, as
think.
your thoughts. Okay, sorry.
I think, I don't know. Let's not go into that one right now.
Think, think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So,
Okay.
so, so, so I said, so yes, I'm thinking. Can you help me, please? Like, what should I do? She said, just hug me, okay? And I took that little feminine and hugged, and it grew a little bit. And then I hugged her more. It grew a little bit more and started growing. And then when I will do the meditation, and I will call in this my meditation buddy, and I will say, "Hey, what do you need today?" And it will tell me, what do I need today? Like what do I need to do? And it will tell me, like, write a book. It will tell me, cook some good food. And now I
How
don't know where that.
interesting. You've been doing this for years.
Yeah, and and
Yeah.
and 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 years means like 5 years or so.
Yeah.
Uh,
You
and
know
I
what you've done?
I have
You,
got no idea. That's the thing, that I've got no
well,
idea, and I
would you
don't
like
even
to?
know.
Would you like to
Yes,
know?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
you have done what most yogis do consciously. You have done unconsciously. Most yogis use their third eye apparatus, which it looks like you've been building for a while, and your intuitive sense and all of that comes forward. They use this energy combined with this throat chakra energy and the ajna and all of this to be able to externalize or create an entity or form, and they do that, and so the form literally speaks to them, goes back and forth. It literally is a living being. They're beings of energy, if you will, around them. It protects them, talks to them, da 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 da, so on and so forth. That's why yogis and people like me and all of this, we don't need anyone. We are okay by ourselves because we're in dialogue with higher dimensions and beings that you cannot even begin to imagine. Very difficult and da 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 da. And so when we pass on, these beings stay around. So what you did, you externalized your feminine self, and it became a being, and it grew according to the power and the visualization, your ability to visualize as you saw fit, and you grew it, so on and so forth, and you embraced your feminine and made it part of you. And so that made you a lot more attractive to people of the opposite sex. But let me give you one more thing that you can give her that will change your whole life from today. And give her that wonderful ability right now, the feminine energy. Just imagine her in front of you. Just imagine her right now. All right? Slightly taller than you. Okay, good. And give her this wonderful gift of your heart. So take your heart, metaphorically, inside, in your hand, put it in her heart, and just simply say, "Deliver to me my heart," and then embrace her and bring her into yourself. Now, that's all you need to do, nothing very much else. How do you
That's
feel?
beautiful.
How
I
do you
feel
feel?
very good. I feel very good. It's there are a lot of things.
What's happening here?
I I I feel a lot like the brain is tingling, but like my brain is fucking tingling all the time. Like so, but not all the time. Whenever I think about these things, my brain is tingling. Like it's all the
You,
tingle goes in there.
do you know what you just set in motion?
No, I don't.
You want a heart like yours to be in your life, a
Well, thank
person
you.
like you, and it begins now.
Begins
And
now.
we'll draw that person. It will take time,
Yeah.
and they will come. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, it already is on its way. So when you
Let
start to do that, you have done what masters of the occult and mystics and all of these people in deep meditation for years have done. I suspect that this is a lot of past life stuff that you're dealing with. But it's okay. It's good. It's good. It's very
so
good.
so so what started happening? Actually, before that, like I do a lot of things, like going through this process or journey of my life, uh, which are not even that I read somewhere or I saw it somewhere or somebody told me. I
You
do it
just
on
know.
my own.
You
Right,
just know. Yes.
right. And
That's how that works.
then when somebody like you asked me the question, I wasn't going to talk about it unless you asked me. When you asked me the question, I said that, and somebody else will come. Oh, that's what so and so does it do. And I'm like, that's so beautiful because I did not have. I mean, I have a cosmic connection somehow, but I didn't read about that person. I didn't see that person. I got no clue. Nobody told me. But how the same thoughts comes into us, like one of the things which I started doing, which I had an issue while I was growing up because we grew up in a very taboo Indian society. Uh, like I come from a small town, like where I cannot go. go to the market with my niece because people will start talking about it. It's that crazy, right? That's why I left that place. I said this place is not for
Yes,
me.
yes. I heard rumors about you and your niece as well. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she may be listening, so don't say that. But anyway, so what I started doing, which I couldn't do all this time, is I started appreciating the beauty much more. It looks like my throat chakra somehow open if we talk about the chakra. And if I see a beautiful person without even thinking that what she will think or what will happen, I'll go tell her that you are so beautiful. And then uh, depending upon their state of mind, and I didn't even care, I'll get like a different response. It's like, oh, what do
Sure.
you want? Or I will get a thank you. I'm like, oh, this guy is weird. But I didn't care about that because that was my celebration of beauty. Okay. Once I started celebrating it more, it started coming into my life more and more. And not from the same person I said it to, but like in the same day, like I will have this much more beauty. I will be surrounded by it.
This area is responsible for manifestation.
Oh, thank you. Good to know
Yeah,
that.
just to let you know,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and
Control over outer forces. But first of all, you have to control yourself. And if you work on your, which you do successfully, by the way, on your sense of humor, your ability to laugh, to play a little bit more often, and you find that loneliness begins to dissipate slowly because you
yo,
are
what
no
is
longer,
that?
your loneliness
I don't
begins
know
to
that word. I don't know that word.
dissipate
Yeah,
slowly. And
yeah.
so within time, you may not actually need anybody at all. It's crazy, but let's see how it pans out.
I'm almost at that point. So,
Are you?
so
Good, good.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yes, yes. I don't need
Be-
anybody to
Because of
fulfill that.
Governor Cuomo or because you did it yourself?
Because I did it myself. And not in the corner of the room like you were talking earlier in the show, but I
Uh,
was watching your show. Uh, but it's not from a point of view of like I got a lot of playmates, I call them, the one who we play together, right? But it's not that from a point of fulfillment of something in me. It's a point of that uh, I I want them to grow spiritually, and they want me to grow, and that's the only intention. And then when when they are not there or they find a boyfriend or something, I'm so very happy about it. And that
great.
on
Good.
yeah,
Good.
on this process, I mean, somehow the boyfriend doesn't last that long and they come back to me. One of my friends,
Oh, wait,
one of my
wait. Two signals here. So you're very happy that they found a boyfriend, and you go, "Phew, thank God." And then they come back and they go, "Oh shit, the boyfriend didn't stay." Is
no.
that
Uh,
no?
so no, I'm just sincerely happy for them. And
Oh,
like
okay.
one of my friends, like she was very close to me, and she got this boyfriend, and she said, "I want you to meet him." And I said, "Okay, fine." Even though I said I don't see the point, she said, "Oh, I have a point. You have to meet him." I'm like, "Okay, I will meet him." I've gone and hugged that guy, and I said, "Thank you so much." And he
Hmm.
said, "That's weird, though. Why you're saying me thank you?" And I said, because now you are going to do 80% of the shit which I was doing for her, like pick her up, drag her at 4 a.m. in the morning, totally drunk from a club, and pay for her dinner bill. Now you are going to pay it. So why wouldn't I thank you for that? And
You're the only man I know who is so happy to go from lover to friend zone.
yeah, and that's I mean
Most men are stuck in the friend zone, but you are so happy to go there. You know what the friend zone is, right?
yeah, of course I do.
Well, did someone likened the friends? Somebody asked me to explain it. I told them, well, you go and apply for a job, and you get rejected for the job, and then the employer keeps calling you to complain about the person they hired. That's that's the friend
I,
zone.
I like that. So I mean it's so beautiful that you can do that, and then the thing is, so the reason she wanted to meet her boyfriend, and she is very close to me. She still is very close to me. The reason
Wanted
she
to
wanted
get
to do
your permission, your blessings, your check him out. Is he the one for me? So you become the guru of New York.
I don't like that word, but yes, that's what she calls me. But I talked with her like, and I told her not to call me the guru, and she keep on calling me. And she said, why don't you like that word? Like that's very good, because I hold you in so much self-respect, and like or not self-respect, so much respect for you. I think that's the appropriate word. And you know what my answer was? I said, once you put me on that pedestal of a guru, it's very hard to come down and have sex with you because now I have to maintain this level. Or unless I'm an Indian guru, where you hear all the stories about the gurus from there. But
Mm.
it's a beautiful,
So
beautiful thing. Like, yeah, go ahead.
so wait. You can enjoy both worlds because now NYC has an NYG, right? New York Guru. Um, call yourself a love guru. There you go. You now have the best of both worlds.
That was like I tried all that, the love guru, love coach, this, that, and another time I will explain it to you what happened in every incident that happened. But let's get back to that feminine energy though. Uh so
So,
so
so, so I would love to talk with you more. We're coming to closing time, but could you give everyone who's listening now some advice, some tips, some oh great guru, something that you can share with them about male and female being more in
okay.
touch with their sense of worth and sense of self, sense of uh, well deservedness, those kind of things, and relate it somehow to this whole feminine energy thing.
So if you, like I always already said, if you want to play with the certain kind of energy, that is could be a feminine for male and masculine for female, and whatever in the middle, whatever energy you want to play with, you have to bring that energy in you, because we want to play, we are energetic being, we want to play with the similar energy. So if you are this masculine asshole with no female percent in there, of course you are not going to get too many females to play with. I mean, you can get one night stands, but if that is what you're looking for, because that will go with the muscles and how good you look yeah, but that's not what we are looking for. Like if you can have a perpetual supply of the goods, like on a conveyor belt, why will you just like go pick one thing? I mean, that's not what you want. So firstly, change your energy like that. Secondly, do not focus on the goals. Like if you have to grow a flower, you can't focus on the flower all the time. You focus on irrigating the soil. You want to give it a good fertilizer, and you want to give it water. You want to give it sun, and the flower will come as a natural consequence of that. And once the flower will come, its fragrance will bring the bees from all over the world, because your fragrance is so good that bees are automatically getting attracted to you.
and you spend the rest of your days just pollinating.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So that's the thing. I know you're coming to the end of this show, but I think this is like a pineal gland continued for how
We
many weeks?
we will we will continue on Monday.
This
We'll have a
this
talk. Join
this
me
has
then.
to be this has to continue with the feminine. Like I'll put in a cliffhanger over here. Uh,
Yes.
that all this beautiful energy, which I respect and I love and I help my friends to nourish. That's why they are around me because I
Yes.
help them to nourish that. Even my feminine friend are lacking the feminine energy, so I help them to nourish it and I respect it, and hundreds of my friends will vouch for it. But there is a
Keegan
dark
says
side.
Keegan says, thanks so much, Guru Ashok.
Thank you, Keegan. uh, but there is a dark side to it, okay, and
Yeah.
the discussion wouldn't be complete.
And by the way, Judy Zhao is also single and she says you're cute.
Oh,
And
send me
she likes it if you go into stimulation mode with her.
we'll do that. Tell Send me the request. Okay, so no discussion is complete till we look at both the sides of that, right? And this goddess thing and the energy and how we create it. There is a dark side to that one, which has started to come out with all these crazy things which is happening in the
Yes.
world with the Me Too and You Too and all those things. And I think we have to discuss that, and that's another show. Like maybe we can discuss it
Sure.
on Monday if both of you and me can get together. But I
So
think yes,
if I can summarize,
right.
um, if you want to be illuminated, you need to turn on the lamp that is on your one nightstand that you have in next to the bed, right? It's a nightstand. If you get two nightstands, then that's better for you because there's more light. Is that correct? Oh,
I don't know. Like I'm a monogamous person. I think I want to say that. So I
totally
don't
agree
want to.
with you. All right, Ashok, thank you so much for contributing. It's always a pleasure to talk with you and have lots of fun with you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk with you all the time to hear your wisdom. And I just want to let you know that
Yes.
your closing statements are the most profound one. And if sometimes I cannot listen to it because I'm busy, I always get to the closing statement because they are so profound and so good. You should have you should have a compilation of
I will.
closing
I
statements
will.
from
I will.
Mel Gibson.
I
Yeah,
will.
and
I'm a poet with the. If you ask me what I am, I just happen to be good in psychology. That's what I'm good at. I just happen to be good a writer. Da da da. I'm also happen to be good at doing all the other things I do. Motivational guru. Hoo, ha ha ha. But what I really am is just a poet. I really just spend my time just writing. That's all I do.
we all are, aren't we? I'm a poet in my own respect, even though I don't write as much as you do. And
No,
every
I've seen your poetry. It's inside love. No, what's it called? Infinite love.
yes,
I've seen
and
you.
and
It is
it's
profound.
thank you.
You have a Facebook page for Infinite Love.
Right, I
Tell
do.
everybody what that is,
So
please.
so that is because I have a book. It's called Infinite Love, Finite Life, and I created that Facebook page. Uh, but if you go to the hashtag Infinite Love, Finite Life, there are lot of quotes in there. There are a lot of things in there, and some of them came so beautifully that I will be answering a text to my friend, and she will be like, "This has to be in a book," like literally like that. This you cannot take it with you. And I just simply text something because she said something, and I felt like I might text it. But like, this is a poem. You had to put it in there, and then there is a beautiful poem. Uh, there are a couple of beautiful poems in that book, Infinite Love, Finite Life. I mean, it's available in Amazon or wherever you get your book fix from. Uh, but taking that attention off me, I really appreciate what you do, and I we will have a discussion sometime other thing, because you have so many talents, and how sometimes, like many times, you switch on whatever talent you want to, like you are being this doctor and talking about all this logical thing,
I
and
teach
where
I teach people to do the same.
I
It's
know
not hard.
that,
It's not hard.
but
It's easy. I will, over the course of the next few months, 6 months, 7 months, I will teach people how to do all of this, and I'll teach you how to have something called cosmic memory, where you really have no idea why, but the knowledge you need just comes to the fore, even though you haven't seen it
right,
or,
and
or
and,
heard it before.
and that is because many of the people who are educated, like I'm an engineer, I've gone to the school for the engineering. Like always, when you are trying into the move into the spiritual realms and stuff like that, uh, that uh, that learning
Everything,
comes up,
everything
and
is everything is spiritual, including engineering.
well,
It is
I
spiritual. Isn't
understand, but
isn't it this Satguru guy who calls it inner engineering or something like that? Isn't that what he calls it? Engineering. That's your field. That's all part of it, isn't it? What is that? Yeah, there you go. Inner engineering. So it's all spiritual.
yes,
Anything you do, it can have a spiritual aspect to it, depending on how much attention you give to it. If you do something really well, focus on that you do really well. And then the
yes.
next thing will happen, next thing will happen, next thing will happen. Before you know it, you've lived a spiritual life.
But it is a big problem for many of the people, majority of the people, to so that
So far. So
psych,
far. That's why
yeah,
we're
so
here. That's why we're
right,
here.
so
We're gonna change that.
right, so that the when you are talking about the spiritual things, psychologist doesn't come in and take over, and when you are talking about the
No, it
psychologist,
does. It does. It does. It does.
yeah,
All of
that,
us sit in council and we deliver.
there you go. And I will
Even the fishermen
now, yeah,
and
I
the
will,
guy from IKEA who sells you those one night stands that you have.
and I will now wait for the final words, which are the best part about your shows, uh, other than me being on the show. So go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for being on the show, Ashok. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. That was Ashok Thakur. Always enjoy talking with him because you don't know what's going to come from left field all of a sudden. And the advice is amazing. It's from all over the place. Sometimes you lose it, but somewhere along the way, you will always find that there's something you can learn from not just Ashok, but from everybody around you. Life is filled with a lot of teachers, and the teachers can come in the form of family, they can come in the form of animals, and when you begin to realize that all of your life is a spiritual life, then what makes it spiritual as opposed to not spiritual is only one thing: awareness. How aware are you? How aware are you of the people around you? How aware are you of the energies around you? How aware are you of the emotions around you? How aware are you of all of these things? And how aware are you of your mortality? We talk about life and death, and I talked about mortality all throughout this program. It was an African elder who stood out in history for the last 100 years in his tribe because of only one statement that he made. And that statement was very simple: we survive, then we die. Short, beautiful, profound. Nothing really escapes the Creator's cycle. Not plants, not horses, not trees, not birds, or human beings. not the life of the mind, not the life of the heart, not the life of the spirit. All living things emerge and they gather and they spark new life. They fall apart, they die, and they emerge in new different ways. Every soul is a gust of God's breath, unfolding in the great energy that surrounds us like an ever-moving stream. The goal is not to cheat death, but to live in the stream with a humility and an aliveness that only an acceptance of death can bring. When we try to deny death, we can grow sick from frantically chasing any challenge that will occupy our minds. And in living in the other extreme, well, we grow sick from thinking only of death, from letting death be everything that we see. And this makes a sad career of your life, a sad career of fear. So beyond all design, beyond all desire, we survive. And like stones that are eroded by forces that can never be seen or stopped, our reward is the pain and the wonderment of bearing our inner beauty to the sky, our inner role, our inner task. What we carry deep within ourselves, if we live honestly, will inevitably be worn outwardly. The experience of living this fully has nothing to do with removing ourselves from the creative cycle. You see, too often we struggle stubbornly in an attempt to protect ourselves from the friction of being alive, when it is precisely that friction that begins to work our spirit into a seeable gem. What else can polish us except the pain that we experience in life and in relationships? What else can make us tougher than any diamond can cut, except pressure and pain and heat? We are more malleable than we think, people. More durable, more changeable than all hope. Thin and fragrant petals that Ashok talked about just now with the people that he encounters in life. They do not hide from the wind, these petals. They survive to die and break ground again and live. Even within one life, we shred and reroot again and again and begin the cycle again and again. We break, we bleed, we rearrange into yet another beautiful thing that learns how to reach again, because we are survivors. Resisting this process of life, survival, and death doubles our pain, increases the struggle. So singing our way through it is the source of wisdom. Dancing our way through it is the source of beauty. And that is what Ashok represents. When I see him at every festival, a festation, this is what I see, a man that's in touch with his feminine, and he doesn't care what you think. He just dances. And there have been times from Dubrovnik to Mykonos to other cities in the world. I don't have to study yoga. I don't have to study about wisdom. I just watch him in the way he dances without fear of reprisal, and everybody wishes they were him at that point. And I observe everybody and I say, wow. So when you ask yourself this very simple question, do you deserve? Like Ashok, do you deserve love? Yes. Do you deserve to be healthy during this uncertain times? Yes. Do you deserve more happiness. Yes. So end the suffering. Have gratitude for everything you have or don't have. Amor fati. Embrace your fate, even if it is not what you want or desire. It is what you need. Thank you for paying attention this whole week. You've been listening to the voice of Dr. Mel Gill, and this has been Uncommon Sense. We will talk again on Monday, 9:30 a.m. New York time, 9:30 p.m. Singapore time, and 4:30 p.m. Bulgarian time. Good night, everyone.